Why should people get sunlight in the morning, 10 minutes of natural light?
Yeah. Getting sunlight in your eyes early in the day, even if it's through cloud cover, we can talk about how to do that. I would put right up there in the top batch of mental health, physical health, and performance enhancing behavioral tools. And it's completely zero cost. It takes a little bit of time, but here's the idea.
And this means actually natural sunlight.
That's right.
Yeah. And you should stare at the fucking sun, right?
Well, blink if it hurts. When the sun is low in the sky, you can look at it directly much more easily without pain. But if it's painful, it's okay to blink. Okay. Don't damage your eyes on account of trying to get the sunlight. Here's the idea. A little bit of background just to kind of nest this in something. Every cell in your body has a little 24-hour clock. Viewing the sun, in particular morning sunlight, on a consistent basis, I would say 80% or more of the days of your life is what you should strive for. So it could be 100%, could be 80, but try and do this daily. What it does is it aligns all of those clocks in a very precise way. And it does this by activating specific neurons in your eye called the intrinsically photosensitive melanopsin ganglion cells, but forget, that's all geek speak, connects to your brain and informs all the cells of your body what's going on in the outside world and aligns them. So imagine going into a clock store with every clock is an alarm clock and they're on different schedules. That's what happens if you don't view morning sunlight. When you do view morning sunlight for about, I would say 5 minutes to 10 minutes on a clear day, try and face in the direction of the sun. Don't do it through a window. Don't do it with sunglasses on. Fine to wear eyeglasses or contacts, even with as UVB protection. Don't wear a brimmed hat. Just look in the general direction of the sun, even if you have to be on your phone, but just kind of get some sunlight in your eyes and blink if you need to, if it's painful. Look away from it a little bit if it's really bright. That morning sunlight coordinates all the cellular and organ systems of your body and does a couple of things. First of all, it boosts a number of chemicals that need to be released early in the day, such as cortisol, which is healthy if it's released early in the day, and the so-called catecholamines, which are dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. What is that? Dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. What does that do? It gives you increased focus, energy, and alertness through the morning, increased immune system function throughout the day, focus throughout the day. And it sets a timer on some other clocks in the body, including the one that releases melatonin about 16 hours later to make you sleepy and fall asleep easily.
This is my biggest struggle, by the way.
If you don't get that morning sunlight for one day, no big deal. But if you don't do it for 2 days or 3 days in a row, what happens is that morning increase in cortisol still happens, but it starts getting pushed out towards the afternoon. And that is strongly associated with depressive symptoms, anxiety, and sleeplessness at night, which then just makes it harder to function during the next day. Yeah. So getting 5 to 10 minutes of morning sunlight when it's clear out in your eyes, when it's clear out on an overcast day, people say there's no sun here. Okay, look, unless you live in a cave, there is sun. I don't care if you live in Seattle in winter or Tromsø, Norway in winter, there is sun. You got to go outside and see it. And the goal is to really flip on as many artificial bright lights throughout the day. Most people make the mistake of not getting morning sunlight in their eyes or driving to work with sunglasses or looking at the sun through a windshield. Then they get to work and it's kind of dimly lit because they have windows that are tinted. And so you're never getting enough light in your eyes early in the day. Then they go home at night. And here's the diabolical thing. From 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., you really want to keep the lights dim. If you want to put in red light bulbs, that's even better. That's kind of geeky. You can just, red light vendors, but you can literally just go buy red party lights. It works just as well in most cases. These aren't the ones to bask in front of naked. I suppose you can do that too. But the point is that you want to avoid getting bright light in your eyes from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Why? That plummets dopamine and melatonin, disrupts sleep, and can lead to issues in next day cortisol and even learning issues. This was beautifully shown by Samar Hattar at National Institutes of Mental Health. It's a good friend of mine, but also a fabulous circadian biologist. So morning sunlight on a cloudy day, maybe 10 to 20 minutes. Really overcast day, if it's really overcast, you wake up, it's ugly out. Your goal should be to get outside, be under an overhang, try and get some light in your eyes with no sunglasses. Then during the day, you really want to crank the lights. On a clear day, get outside. And then people say, well, I've got kids. You don't have kids. Have you ever tried to do this? Look, first of all, you don't know my home situation. Second of all, you go outside with the kids. They need it too. Yeah. People say, does this work in animals? Of course it works. It was discovered in animals and then shown in humans, right? Every mammal needs to do this, and dogs and other animals even will orient towards the sun. Ideally, you're seeing some sun in the morning, again in the afternoon before it sets, and then limiting your nocturnal light time light exposure.